How's it going, Pit family? Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Pit Papa, and it's time for another weekly cook. This week, we have a tender and juicy grilled strip steak with garlic rosemary butter and grilled romaine salad on the side, so let's get started. Now, first things first, what is a strip steak? Now, you may have heard it called a New York City strip or a Kansas City strip, but what it is a higher end cut of beef similar to a filet mignon or a ribeye. Strip steak is part of the short loin subprimal. Once you've removed the tenderloin, you are left with the strip loin, which is what a strip steak is. One of the reasons I personally love strip steak is the marbling that's through it. It is a single muscle, and so it doesn't have any extra connective tissue or fat. It just has the intramuscular marbling, which makes it very juicy and very flavorful. Prepping this steak for the grill is incredibly easy. About 45 minutes before it goes on the grill, we're going to salt both sides with kosher salt. And then we'll come back just before it goes on the grill to brush it down with a little olive oil. Now, the reason we season so early is because it draws moisture to the surface of the meat, which then will dissolve the salt, which turns it into a brine and sucks it back into the steak, thus flavoring it throughout, as well as denaturing the proteins along the surface of the steak, giving us a more tender cut of beef before it goes on the grill. Now, about half an hour after we first put the salt on the steaks, which is 15 minutes before we're going to put them on the grill, we need to come out and get our grill started so it's nice and hot when those steaks go on so they sear well. All right, we're back. It has been 45 minutes. As you can see, a whole bunch of that salt has dissolved and formed that brine we talked about earlier. Now it's time to brush it with a little bit of olive oil and get it out on the grill. But first things first, not only does our steak need olive oil, but so does the other part of our meal, the grilled romaine salad. So I have a head of romaine here. I'm going to pull off the bruised and damaged leaves, and then I'll split it right down the middle along the spine. Take one half of it and brush it down with olive oil and season with just a little bit of kosher salt so it can go out on the grill for when our steak's resting. All right, and we're back out at the Oklahoma Joe. In the past 15 minutes, it has heated up to about 425, 450, and we're going to get this steak on and get it seared. We're going to go about 4.5 minutes and then turn it 90 degrees to get those beautiful sear marks. Do another 4 minutes, then we'll flip it over and do the same on the other side. As I mentioned at the top of the video, we're doing a garlic and rosemary finishing butter for this steak. So it's time to fire up the offset burner so we can get that started. I have my nice heavy saucepan on my offset burner. I've got my butter in it. I'm going to get that melted down, and then I will add both the rosemary and the garlic. We're going to let this brown over low heat, and that'll bring all of those beautiful flavors together, and it'll make an incredible finishing butter for our steak when it's done. All right, it's been 4.5 minutes. It's time to rotate these steaks 90 degrees to get those beautiful sear marks. Now, Pit Papa tip, when you rotate your steak, don't put it right back on the same piece of iron where it was just resting. You want to move it over to one that is still going to be super hot so that it get those nice, beautiful marks. Time for the flip, and same rule applies here. Flip onto a new piece of iron, not the one you've previously been cooking on. Ooh, and there they are, those beautiful crosshatch grill marks. 3 more minutes right here, then another 90-degree turn, and then 3 more minutes. All right, time to pull these. I've got my platter standing by. Now, it's important that this platter is warm, or else it'll just sap the heat right out of your steak and you'll get a big nasty pile of juices. You want this to be a gentle rest, not a hard pull. Luckily, my platter's been out here in the sun for about 20 minutes. But if you need to, you can run it under hot water and then dry it off gently to give you that nice warm surface for your steak to rest on. While your steak is resting, it's time to grill up that romaine. So mine's right here, nice and oiled and salted. We're going to put it down flat side first, and then after about 2.5 minutes, we'll flip it over to the other side and get the other side nice and charred as well. Okay, nice and gentle. Let's get this flipped over. It is a little bit fragile, and let's char up the other side so we get that beautiful, dark, bitter contrast to the wonderful, savory flavors of our steak. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes since we put this on in the first place, which means it's time to pull it off. Do so very carefully because, as you can see, it is quite tender and you don't want it falling apart. Get it on the platter right next to your steak, and let's move to the finishing touches. Now, to finish this off, I'm going to add smoked blue cheese crumbles to both the romaine and the steak. And I know some people are out there going, but Pit Papa, I don't like blue cheese, and that's okay. You can substitute a nice shaved Parmesan instead. But if you've never tried smoked blue cheese, it does cut some of the tanginess, and it pairs really well with both the bitterness of the grilled romaine and the savoriness of the steak, so maybe consider trying it. From there, all that's left is that beautifully browned garlic and rosemary butter that we're using to finish the whole thing. So I'm just going to pour it right over the top of the steak and the blue cheese. This will help melt the blue cheese down just a little bit, and it will marry with the steak beautifully. And there it is, this gorgeous steak with that luscious salad. It's going to be delicious. Let's try it. So good, so tender and juicy, incredibly savory. That butter finisher is just perfect. Let's try the salad. Now, with that unctuous charred flavor of the grilled romaine, coupled with the luscious tangy counterpoint of that smoked blue cheese, I'm expecting this to be a spectacular complement to our savory steak. There you have it, Pit family, a wonderful meal, a beautiful strip steak grilled to perfection, finished with a rosemary and garlic butter and served alongside a grilled heart of romaine topped with smoky blue cheese. I hope that you enjoyed watching. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't. There's so much more content to come and I'm so excited to share it with you. Also, please leave a comment down below. Let me know, do you like blue cheese or would you go the Parmesan route? And in addition, please be sure to share with a friend so we can grow our community. I know outdoor cooking can be scary, but together we can do it. That's all for now, Pit family. Until next time, I've been the Pit Papa, and I'll see you outside.